Hey guys. Hey Mark. How's it going, man? How you feeling? Crazy game, huh? This game is going to be it's going to be hard to live up to the last one, isn't it? That's good. The drama on that one was pretty crazy. So, yeah, that's got a pretty high bar set, but I guess we'll see how things go. It could be like a 10 try thriller. We will see. Who are we hoping for? Oh, man. Either way kind of works for me in this one. Like, it's pretty sad if the Aussies lose. Like, their rugby is not in a good place. I mean, looking at the crowd and the build-up, didn't look all that hot. Um, but it'd be nice to see the Pumas get a win. So either way, kind of works. Did I see the South Africa versus New Zealand result? Yeah. I was really tempted at halftime to start a stream for that second half, but I was like, nah, I better not. Better watch the game as intently as I can. So yeah, that was crazy at the end. So it was. I mean, I'll do the review of it tomorrow. But I mean, Boks all that pressure in the first half and hit the All Black score a try, vice versa in the second. So yeah, crazy. Some good-looking Sheilas in the crowd to make up for the lack of punters. Looking at the bright side. You'd like to think that the internationals would always sell out, but it doesn't seem to be the thing. I mean, last year, to be fair, the All Blacks hosted Argentina and Nelson, which is a smaller ground, because they figured that they would probably sell that out, I guess. I like to think they would still be able to sell out Eden Park, but you never know. A Leinster top, yes. I've been wearing this all day. My wife was video chatting her mother, so my mother-in-law, and she could see me in the background, and she was like, "Damn, that is a nice top," and I was like, "Actually, there's some rugby on." Oh man, yeah, the Aussies were actually attacking, and then the Pumas turned the ball over. Man, okay, Aussies have got the ball back. This is just going one way after the other at the moment. We'll see who gets on top. Am I blazed? No, I'm just high on rugby. What can I say? What can I say? I've been up since about 5 in the morning because my daughter decided to wake me up at that time. So if I've got red eyes, that's the reason rather than any kind of blazing. Three turnovers in a row, and the Wallabies finally get penalised. Southeast Queensland is just like Auckland West. Yep, there's a fair few Kiwis over in Queensland. Warmer weather. That's what we like. Okay. Pumas got their maul going. It'll be interesting to see how they're forward to go up against that Wallabies pack as well. Especially with no Krevy. But Montoya is no slouch. You got to think he's probably going to play 60, 70 minutes. It's an interesting Pumas jersey as well. It's they wore a pretty slick one last year. This is another away version. Don't know how many times I'll get to wear it. Six phases for the Pumas in the Wallabies half. Can they do anything, or will that Aussie defense hold? Ooh, they've lost the ball. It's funny, we're watching the Argentinians and the Australians play, and all we're talking about is the New Zealanders and the Springboks. Fair enough, it was a pretty good game. Pretty crazy ending. Now the Wallabies are on halfway 4 phases. Corbett's coming off his wing. It'll be interesting to see how he goes as well, because he didn't get a chance last week. Checker is still experimenting with his lineup. This is the nearest I can get to watching the game. Got it. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't provide the game. It's got to be on somewhere. Not that I would advise legal streaming. It's got to be on somewhere. Man, that's twice the Argentinians have turned the Aussies over at the breakdown. That looks like it was Matera. That guy's a hell of a player, and they've taken it quickly. Okay. Here we go. Pumas down the wing. Ooh, he's in touch. Huge transmission delay. Okay, I'll try. I'll see if I can not do any spoilers, but I'm pretty bad at that historically. So if you want to drop out the stream, that's all good, bro. So South Africa win the rugby championship now. I guess it'll go down to that last round, because, I mean, the Springboks got that vital bonus point against the Wallabies. So they'll have to do a job against the Pumas. And the New Zealanders will have to go and get a bonus point win against the Wallabies as well. But just remember, winning the rugby championship is not a good thing for your World Cup prospects, apparently. Nobody goes on to win one and then the other. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. Two draws in one night. Yeah. Could happen. Rare. All Blacks by 5. So I was like, well, if this finishes up at 7, I'm still looking pretty good in terms of my prediction. Nope. Although, at least if the draw screwed me over, it screwed pretty much everybody over. Lagging. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure if anybody else is using the connection, but shouldn't be at this time of night. Jack says, scrappy game so far. Yeah, this one hasn't set the world alight. To be fair, the All Blacks game had a fair few errors in it as well, but at least it had the drama. So, yeah. Man, you're up in Cairns, says, is that BSIM? I've been to Cairns. Thank you for your compliment. Been to Cairns, and it's pretty hot. Lots of crocodiles. But nice place. Haven't been there since I was about 10 years old. Man, we're pretty much at 10 minutes. Okay. Not why I'm clapping, but the Wallabies have got a penalty, so we may actually see a scoring play if they go for the posts here. Yeah, interesting what you say about the referee in that game. I did make a couple of notes when I was taking notes in that All Blacks and South Africa game that he penalised Vermeulen at one point, which was pretty harsh, and he missed an All Blacks knock on. And at the time, it was like 7-point difference once they kicked the penalty. And I'm thinking, well, it's 3 points, so that's not the difference maker in the game. But then the game ends up being a draw, so maybe that is the difference maker, which is unfortunate. Hey, Big Will. Lots of snakes here in Brisbane when the weather's warm. Okay, That's certainly one thing we don't have in New Zealand. I seem to remember, I'm 10 years old, so I could be mistaken, but I seem to remember my uncle in Brisbane hitting cane toads with a golf club. Is that a thing? All right, Liliafano's lining up a shot at goal. He's got it. Wallabies are in front. 10 minutes, we get a score. Yeah, slots the kick, says Rusty. Yep, it was a pretty good kick. Liliafano's kicking over Super Rugby has not been all that impressive. I think he was better this year than he was last year. But he's not a man you'd want to put a World Cup playoff game on. But still, slotted that one, so no complaints there. I think for this one, I've picked the Wallabies, actually. So we'll see if that pick rings true. That was just me being a bit conservative and going for the home side and kind of history. Although recent history would go with the Pumas, of course, on Aussie soil anyway. Jack asks, will I be doing live streams during the World Cup? Yeah, I think I'll have to, man. I think I will have to. I've got 3 weeks off during the World Cup. So, yeah. Most of the games are on pretty late at night. So I'm pretty much going to be on my own here watching the rugby. So it'd be good to have you guys along as well. For as many games as I can do, we'll see. Sleep goes as well. I still got kids waking me up early in the morning, even if I do watch those games at night. So I may be like a bit of a granddad taking naps in the day to re-energize. Oh, man. Line break from Rodder. Jeez, he made about 20 meters. Got some gas. That pass looked forward. Oh, well, Wallabies are still on the attack. See if they can make anything out of this. They're going 5 phases. And they knocked it on. And they knocked it on. Catch much of the Cricket World Cup. Again, as the time difference with that was a bother. I haven't watched cricket in any great detail probably in the last 10 years. Like I catch it occasionally when it's on, but with my kids waking me up at like 5 and 6 in the morning, no, I didn't stay up late to watch the games. But there's a lot of Indian guys in my office and English, so the Aussies as well. So there was a bit of office banter about that. So I was able to keep up with all the news for sure. Three weeks off, commitment for the game, and the channel love it. Yeah, man, Rusty. It was funny. Like I said to my boss, like, can I get 3 weeks off? Told her the time. And she's like, oh, you and the family going away somewhere? You guys planning a trip? And I was just like, oh, the Rugby World Cup's on. And she's like, oh, you're going to go? You're going to Japan? And I was like, no? Is your wife having any time off? No, it's just me. I'm just going to watch the rugby. Okay. She didn't really get it. Anytime she takes time off, it's like family time, so. Marty says most of the Boks games will be at 2 a.m. local time, which sucks. Yeah, that is pretty unfortunate. Like New Zealand, it's kind of late evening, like 10, 11 o'clock at night, which is doable. Like 2, 3 a.m. is kind of too late to stay up and too early to get up. It's kind of awkward on both sides. Like at least 11 p.m. is not too bad. Am I single? Nah, man. I got wife and kids. Wife and kids. She put, one of you guys said, put that leave down not as annual leave, but under mental leave. Yeah, that guy's got problems. Probably true. Probably true. My boss is actually like a Filipino lady, and she's quite hardcore Christian. So everything she does is like very family focused, very like with her husband. They go on like couples for Christ camps, which is cool. But I just want to watch some rugby. So we're a touch different in that regard. World Cup is going to be great, but what do you think of Wales? Yeah, man, Wales look like they're going to be tough. I mean, they proved that in the Six Nations. They're a really hard team to break down. And I mean, you saw that with the All Blacks tonight against South Africa. That line speed really put them off their game. So Wales are that kind of team that can hold you out and just take their chances. So if they can do that, they can certainly beat anybody. Tyler says, good platform to discuss the All Blacks and Springboks games. Worth the hype. I'm not sure why we're watching the Wallabies. I mean, this game, although it's 3-0 after 15 minutes, and I haven't been saying much about the game, it still has the potential to go on and be a cracker. But yeah, it probably could have been on before the other game. Hey, it's kind of like the curtain raiser, because that game was pretty epic in the end. Well, the All Blacks guys look pretty deflated because, I mean, I guess when you're the team ahead and it ends in a draw, that's pretty deflating, and especially as the home team too. But the Springboks guys look pretty pumped. Thought you were going to watch the All Blacks versus South Africa. Yeah, I decided not to put the stream on for that one because I was really tempted. I was tempted to go back-to-back streams, but I'm not sure if I could handle it. But yeah, I just kind of sat down and watched that game in the comfortable chair, drink, notepad. Yeah. This one gives us a chance to talk about that game. And yeah, hopefully this game gives us some moments as well. The Argentinian scrum was under a bit of pressure, that's for sure. But they still managed to get the ball out. Sanchez probably needs to step up from last week, but I guess it was his first. We'll see how he goes this week. Okay, Wallabies defense is scrambling and doing enough. 4 phases. 5 phases. And they've knocked it on. Could not believe the All Blacks made so many silly mistakes. Yeah. They looked rusty, didn't they? Oh, God. What is going on in this game? The Wallabies kicked it. The Pumas knocked it on. The Wallabies gathered it, had a chance to run it back, somehow dropped it. And then the Argentinians attacked and then passed it to one of the Wallabies guys. Man, this game's all over the shop. Bit of handbags. These guys are feeling it. Cool. Cool. They're fired up. Matera hit on Liliafano. Damn. Oh, Kurandrani just couldn't pick that ball up. 2 cents. Do you think New Zealand aren't going to be as good as they used to be? It's a hard one to say, man, because there was a while where they just looked to cut above everyone else, but that November last year kind of proved that the gap is either not really there or it's minimal. So that's a good thing for me. Like I'm pretty happy with that. I like close games. blowouts, whilst that's a bit fun to see all those tries run in, are generally not as entertaining as close games. So, yeah, I'm hoping there's some tight games in that World Cup as well. Mapimpi and Faf had a horrible game. Faf certainly puts the pressure on defensively. He's like really rugged and tenacious like that. He keeps people uncomfortable. Mapimpi, yeah, it seemed a bit awkward. He didn't get much ball. I'm not sure how many runs he had, but it wasn't a lot. Thoughts on Ireland's chances at the Rugby World Cup? Ireland's a bit of a mystery because their Six Nations didn't go all that well, but they've certainly got the players and they got the coach. I kind of feel like Joe Schmidt either has something up his sleeve or has taken some lessons from losing the Six Nations and will adapt his game plan. So I'm pretty confident that the Irish will do well. But then again, in all likelihood, they're either going to have to face the All Blacks or the Springboks coming out of their pool. So it's another tough quarterfinal for Ireland. So if they can get over that hump of quarterfinal losses, then I think they could go pretty well. Sonny Bill Williams played bad. I mean, he looked like a guy who hadn't played that much rugby, hey? I think he gave away a penalty pretty early and got stripped pretty early. So, but he put a pass in for the try, right? So, yeah, they'll stick with him. They're not gonna drop him. No way. No way does he get dropped. Oh man, the Argentinians are attacking from a scrum move, and they knocked it on. Aussie to go to counter and chuck it into touch. 20 minutes, 3-0. I think it was 6-0 in the other game. So in terms of the score lines, they're both going pretty similarly. I think Brody is gone. Brody certainly looked like he was in a lot of pain, didn't he? That was not good. Like, he's a pretty tough cookie, and if he was just a little bit hurt, I would say you probably wouldn't notice that much expression on his face. But yeah, that didn't look very good. Didn't look very good for Brody. So we'll see what happens. I guess we'll probably read in the news tomorrow if there's been any assessment, or it might be a couple of days until he gets like a scan or something. So it'd be a massive loss if they lose Brody. But he has had his injury issues. I mean, he missed a lot of the Super Rugby season. Okay. Australia just won a scrum penalty. That is one area that Argentina need work on between now and the World Cup. A lot of people talking up Argentina's chances in the World Cup, and I agree. They're looking like a very good team, but the scrum needs to be good. Brody dislocated shoulder. Hansen announced that in the post-game press conference. Oh, man, they know already. Damn, okay. I didn't stick around to watch the press conferences. I was too busy setting up the computer here. Dislocated shoulder. What's the recovery time for a dislocated shoulder? And Cordero got the first touch of the ball, and it's been 22 minutes. Three weeks. Okay. If it's 3 weeks, that's not too bad. But that means he's probably not going to get any game time unless he plays against Tonga. down in Hamilton, and then it's straight into a World Cup, but Brodie's not the kind of guy that they would leave out. Six weeks. If it's 6 weeks, then that's a problem. Five minutes. You just pop it back in. I don't know. We'll wait and see what they say. He certainly looked like he was in pain. I'm not sure if he was in as much pain as us watching this game at the moment. It could be a bit harsh. The error count just getting pretty high. Sanchez is lining up a kick a goal if you're not actually watching the game. Boompa. It's all square. Oops. Sorry, Argentina. Three all after 24 minutes. Rub some Vicks on it, Brodie. She'll be right. Brodie is a pretty tough cookie, like I say. So, I mean, he is the kind of guy that they might still name in the World Cup squad, even if he wasn't 100% fit, in the hopes that he would come fit for like the later stages of the comp, maybe get him a game. If he's not ready for the first, like if he's not ready for the South Africa game, maybe play him against some of the other games. Whoa, okay. The Argentinians have got a big line break after the kickoff. Cabelli just passed to Lozana. The Pumas are about 2 meters out. Dropped it. And they dropped it. Man. They dropped it. That was the best movement of the game. About 3 phases they went and just big line break, cutting the defense to bits. Good passes, quick hands. Cabelli goes to Lozana. Good defense by the Wallabies to hold them out right there. And then the pass. And boom. Knocked it on. Try gone begging, says Jack. Yep. That was a try gone begging. Let off for the Wallabies. Yeah, man. That was big time. I mean, but they did do well to stop Lozana from getting the try on the initial move. So I guess you kind of make your own luck. Wallabies are going to exit. 10-meter mark. So Argentina will be attacking from the lineup. We'll see how they go. Japan beating Fiji earlier on today. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I caught the end of that game, but not the full finish because the All Blacks game started. What was the final score? Like 34-21? So I'll have to see if I can find a full version of the game to watch. See if they replay it, because I think it was on Sky here in New Zealand. So see if I can watch that game in full. But that's definitely good news for Japan, because I think traditionally they're pretty good against the Tier 2 nations, except Fiji. Fiji usually beat them. The Imbiber did a preview on it the other day, which was pretty good. And yeah, Japan's record against Fiji was not good. So for them to get that win, it's pretty impressive. And I think like Nakarawa was playing, and some of the other, like Vola was playing. So Fiji had a pretty strong lineup, and Japan still got it done. So that's good news for them. Maybe that takes a little bit of the sting out of the people. Like a lot of people are certain Fiji are going to beat Australia in the pool stages of the World Cup. Okay. Change the topic. The Pumas just got a penalty and didn't take the shot. They're taking a quick tap. And they've knocked it on. Man. I feel like this is a game where you just take the 3. Just take the 3. Yeah, my dream team is going to probably have to include Herschel Yankees, huh? I'll have to have a look at the stats, but that was kind of a dream moment, so. Yeah, it'd be a hard man to ignore. Pumas' hands are killing them. Yeah, man, the handling error is good lord. It's getting frustrating. I'll have to have a look at what the stats are in a minute, but the Wallabies, after kind of a flying start, seem to be on the back foot a bit here. Keep trying to exit. Oh, man, the Pumas have just knocked it on again from a kick. I think that was Sanchez. It's going to be a Wallabies scrum in the Pumas half. I'll see if they can do anything for it. Coco and Jumbo says, hey, man, what are you drinking? I'm drinking a coffee. I mentioned earlier that I got up in the morning with my daughter when she woke up. So starting with a coffee, and then I will go to the beer at halftime. Coffee now wake me up. Beer for that second half. So should get me through the game. It's almost half an hour, and it's still 3 apiece. Coffee laced with whiskey. No, not this time. Not this time. If the All Blacks had lost that game, maybe coffee laced with whiskey. Yeah. You should put that beer in the fridge. Yeah, it's been in the fridge, so it's still pretty cold, and it's not very warm here, so it should stay nice and cold. So it should be all good. Don't worry, no warm beers here. Why does everyone think I'm stoned? Are my eyes like really red? Just woke up early. It's called having a 1-year-old. Thoughts on Barrett's kicking? Yeah. That first penalty miss was a bit of a shocker, wasn't it? Oh, my Lord. Interesting they switched to Richie for the second half. I guess that was kind of a thing to see how he does under pressure as well. So, yeah. Barrett's kicking is not the most reliable, but that was a hell of a kick from Pollard to draw the game, man. Like, that, you don't get many kicks with as much pressure on it as that. So that's good for him. Going into a World Cup, that he's a guy that mentally it's pretty strong, because other players might have cracked in that situation. All 4 teams have been poor with their handling. Yeah. Oh, man, the Wallabies might actually score a try. Are they going to blow it? Hodge, I think, has just scored a try. 31 minutes. I think Hodge's run meter stats last week was like 1 run meter, or might have even been -1. They were poor. But I think he's actually done some work here and actually gone over the whitewash. It's from a scrum. Pass, little inside ball. And yeah, they just got heaps of space. The winger was the Argentinian winger was trying to have, Mojano was trying to cover 2 guys and couldn't get it done. Karevi, Kurandrani, all involved. Nice. Hodge did have to put a little step on at the end, so yeah. Yeah, Taffy Duck says he thought he lost it. I'm surprised they didn't have a wee look at the grounding because it did kind of bobble out as he touched the ground. But like in that All Blacks game, they didn't also check Beauden Barrett's feet for the touchline. I thought he was pretty damn close to the white line, but partly that's just the producers, like the producers of the broadcast. Liliafano has, man, what a kick. The home producers of the home country are not going to focus on anything that could disallow a try. Korobidi, Beal, Hodge. Good work. Wallabies, 10-0 or 10-3. I think I picked Wallabies by 7, so that's all good. Taffy Ducks predicted a 20-point win for the Wallabies. That was brave of you, bro. That was brave, but hey, you never know. Korobidi's on a run. Wallabies look to have got a spring in their step at the moment. The commentators have just called it urgency. They've got urgency. Man, CEO's in there making meters. But the Pumas have turned it over and then bobbled it forward, so it's back in the Wallabies' hands. Even when it's urgent, it's still a wee bit messy. Liking Beal at 15, reckon that his jersey. The only thing I don't like about Beal at 15 is under the high ball, he's not that good. But he does do well with all the extra space. So if I was at a White Rugby World Cup, I'd be putting all my best high ball kicks towards him, man. Whoever is my best guys and jumping at him. I think Beal's just been penalised. What would you rate the Pumas' shape out of 10 at the moment? The Pumas are pretty good apart from their scrum. They got a great line out. They've got very good loose forwards. They've got scintillating backs. They probably lack a big ball-carrying number 12 or 13. They don't really have like a Laumapi or Karevi style player, but I mean, I still like De La Fuente. Back three is awesome. Baffelli's got a big boot. He's quick. Mojano, Cordero, Delgui when he's fit. They got a pretty damn good team, but just the scrum would be the main concern. Quacker Smith played well in the other game. Yeah, man, he did. I think he was the Boks top tackler from what I saw, like 17 tackles, which is just massive. Right. So the game at hand, the Wallabies are 5 meters out from the Pumas line and have knocked it on. So the Pumas are going for a counter attack from their own goal line. And they kicked it. Sensible. Reese Hodge is going to have a run, and he gets nowhere. I'm not sure about Reese Hodge on the wing A. He's been turned over. Now it's the Pumas' turn to attack. Would you say that Wales have the best back three in the world? I don't know. I do love Liam Williams. He's a very good player. George North, very good player. So if it's not the best, it's pretty darn good either way. I mean, Liam Williams, I think, probably makes any kind of dream team, like at the moment. He's just fantastic. I never knew he had a stutter until I read some more about him. That's why he doesn't like doing post-match interviews. But it's hard for him because he gets man of the match when he's so good. So, but yeah. "37 minutes gone in this game. 10-3 to the Wallabies. There's just been another knock-on. I don't know what the knock-on count is, but it's pretty high. Who's a better bomb diffuser, Williams or Falau? I think probably Williams on recent form. I mean, Falau was pretty good when he was playing recently, but they were often using him either on the wing or at least attacking high balls rather than defending. So I think defending, I'd go for Williams. Yeah, Falau's the best bomb maker. Yeah, they were definitely using him to contest their balls that they put up very well. Very, very well. He's a weapon that you can't. It'd be good to see him up against Williams, to be fair. Aussie's 7 handling errors, RG's 12. So 19 handling errors in 39 minutes. It's pretty much 1 every 2 minutes. It's a lot of scrums. Well, there's about 40 seconds left. The Argentinians have got the ball in the Wallabies 22. We'll see if they can even it up before halftime, or will somebody knock it on? It looked like he knocked it on, but maybe it was backwards. Either the ref missed it or it went backwards. Oh, the Wallabies have turned it over. And Beal boots the heck out of it. We'll have a line out, and that'll be halftime. Knock-on count probably higher than the minutes played. It certainly feels like it, man. If you counted like ball in play minutes, like there's not been that many ball in play minutes. There's been a lot of stoppages, lineouts and scrums and waiting. Argentina got one more line out. They've stuffed it. Are the Wallabies going to attack here? I thought they might have just kicked it out. Nah, they're going to go for it. They could have kicked it out, but they're going to attack. It's halfway. Corbidi. Forward pass. Oh, well, that's halftime. Halftime. 10 points to 3. Well, that's forward. Yeah, man, that's pretty forward. Let's have a look what the stats are. I usually go with ESPN for the match stats. See if they got them up to date. Run meters pretty even, 292 to 312. Possession pretty even, 52 to Australia, 48 to Argentina. Territory 46 to Australia, 54 to Argentina. So pretty even. Tackling percentages pretty even, 75% to 73%. That's Australia with 2% more. Yeah, man. It's kind of much of a muchness, but Australia 7 points ahead on the board. Tons of errors. Yeah, that's kind of been the story of this game. What does the turnovers conceded number look like? Turnovers conceded 10 by Australia, 16 by Argentina. Yeah. That's a lot. of giving the ball up to the opposition. I don't mind being a Six Nations viewer. I'm used to it. Oh, it's a bit harsh. Hope the Boks win the Rugby Championship so the ABs can win the World Cup. Yeah, if we believe that that stat is likely to remain true. Who's going to win between Aussie and Wales at the World Cup? Based on what I'm viewing at the moment, you would say Wales. Aren't Wales in like Switzerland or something at the moment doing like altitude training up in the mountains? Pumas playing like an amateur team, says LucasArts. Yeah, at the moment, they are not looking that slick, but they have made a few changes, I suppose. So I guess part of that is to be expected. This game is so average, Ryan. Yeah. It's not been a classic thus far. I had a nightmare when New Zealand won the cricket, the netball, the championship, and the Rugby World Cup. Thankfully, only one of those has happened so far. We did win the netball, and there was a big controversy here in New Zealand about the netballers not getting any kind of pay bonus for winning the Netball World Cup. So a bunch of their sponsors got together and got some money for them. I think they got like 20 grand each or something. So not bad. I guess probably not that good in the scheme of things. Most of the teams get probably a lot more. So only two cups that matter, says Big Will. The World Cup and the Bledisloe. Can you do me a favor? Can you pass me a cup? I forgot to get a cup. I don't want to use my coffee cup. The one's up there. Up there. No, not that one. Can you open the other door? Yeah, that one. Thank you. Thank you. Convenient timing. All for first half. The Crusaders are better than these two teams. I ain't going to argue. Crusaders are pretty good. And neither of these teams is looking that hot right now. Even the Jaguares look better than the Pumas do at the moment. Here's a cup. Thank you. Virtual cup. Does it come with virtual beer? The Black Caps didn't lose. No, they kind of had a draw. But, I mean, that's the rules, so that is what it is. Thoughts on New Zealand? They still haven't looked all that slick, hey? Like, they certainly picked it up in the second half. Again, I'll look at all the numbers and do a proper review tomorrow. But they upped their intensity in the second half. But, yeah, they didn't look all that hot. So it's kind of a question as to how much are they saving for the World Cup? Are they not wanting to show their hand? Are they just rusty? Is it combinations not quite working? You never really know, so. Yeah, Ryan says Crusaders had their whole super season to get to know their combinations well, and that they didn't have many new combinations as well. Their team was pretty much the same as the one from the year before, so the AB's combos will take some time to develop, that is for sure. Batman says he thinks New Zealand will smash Aussie in 2 weeks' time. Well, if Aussie play like this against the All Blacks, and the All Blacks play like they did in that second half, I'm inclined to agree. But if the All Blacks play like they did in that first half, it could be another ugly watch. I guess we'll see. Retallick looked bad. Yeah, it didn't look the best for Retallick, did it? Calcutta Cup, says Paul, is definitely an important one. That's true. Cheers to the Calcutta Cup. That's nice. Ma'anonus needs to play against Australia so he can prove he can play at the World Cup. I can't see it happening. I think they're going to cut that squad down rather than make it bigger. So, yeah. Sonny Bill should not have started, says Cormac. Yeah, I think they just wanted to see what he could do. I think they'll keep him in the squad and they'll keep giving him time, and I hope that he's gonna find his game. Yankees is such a natural man. That guy, I don't think he was generally Rusty likes to play Faf de Klerk right up until the end of the game. So if anything, he was probably only going to come on right at the death. But the guy stepped up and did a great job. Mo'unga should have had kicking duty from the start. Possibly true. I guess they wanted to give each guy one half. I'm not sure. Thoughts on the scrum half of South Africa? Yeah, man, Yankees is certainly putting a case forward. Like, once they named Reinach to be in the squad, I thought it was definitely going to be Faf and Reinach. But with Yankees playing that well, 2 games from 2, why not have him in there as well? He could start in some of the easier games in the World Cup as well to give Faf de Klerk a bit of a break. What do you think about Danny Cipriani? Should he make the England World Cup squad? Yeah, I mean, Eddie Jones doesn't seem to want him there. It's a weird one where he's just played so well, but coach don't want him there. So Eddie Jones does seem to have that kind of thing with a few players that he just doesn't like them. I mean, Good is another one. Just doesn't seem to want him in the squad. So, yeah. Boks were terrible in the second to play good pressure, but didn't know what to do afterwards. Lucky to draw the game. Second half, they were just surviving. There was definitely a different feeling about the second half, for sure. I could see the All Blacks guys really going forward. They actually had some ball, and they were going forward with some proper venom in that second half, whereas the first half was quite the opposite. So, yeah. Thoughts on Kieran Reid? Definitely not his best game in an All Blacks jersey, that's for sure. But he's going to be the captain, so like it or not, he's going to be there. He's going to be number 8. Maybe number 6, but I think pretty much 99% he'll be number 8. They need a 6. Cardini says, sure, 2 cent. Yeah, man. The 6th question is still one that hasn't been answered. Frizzell was pretty quiet in the first half, as were a lot of the All Blacks guys. Fafita wasn't anything hot last week. So the 6th question is still one that's there to be answered for sure. If Australia play like this, they'll lose by 50 in Perth. Yeah. But then the All Blacks didn't look good in the first half of this week's game or the second half of last week's game, apart from defensively. So, yeah. Oh, man. It's all back. What do I think about TJ? Interesting, TJ seemed to have a couple of turnovers at the breakdown. But again, I still feel like come World Cup time, they're going to start Smith and put TJ on from the bench because I feel like he probably adds more from the bench than he does when he starts. I don't know. Did you catch Japan brush Fiji aside? I just saw I saw from about 55 minutes through till 60 something. So not a lot happened. I think Fiji scored a try in that time. But yeah, a good win for Japan. I mentioned it earlier. Very good win for Japan because I think their record against Fiji is traditionally not great. So that's good and maybe gives a bit of comfort to Australia and maybe even Wales in that pool that because when Fiji beat the Māori All Blacks the other week, it was like, man, just how good are Fiji? I guess we'll still see, but not winning all their games. TJ is a bit more confrontational than Smith. Reckon Smith is more in control. Yeah, second half is just about to kick off in this game, but I agree. Aaron Smith controls the game well, which is, I guess, what you want for the start, and then you want somebody to come on and bring some aggression at the end. And can you believe that this game just began? First action, kickoff, and the Argentinian lifter dropped the ball. So first action of the second half is a knock-on. I'm not sure what I should write. I haven't written any notes yet. Australia against Argentina. Knock-ons. Many. Both sides. That's pretty much the summary of the game. Were there any changes at the half? Not that I've seen. Everybody still looks to be out there, but I guess we'll have a look in a sec. Wallabies have just won a scrum penalty. They are certainly putting on some pressure there. They had advantage from the scrum, kicked it through, and the Pumas cleaned it up, so they're going back for a penalty. Jared thinks Colby cemented his spot on the wing. Colby is a beast, man. Like, he's a small guy, but he's got power, which just doesn't fit his size. Tackles like a demon, and I mean, I didn't see it that much. I think he beat a few tacklers in this game, but also, like, when I was watching the Champions Cup this year, he bumps big guys off or manages to use his weight properly. So, yeah, he is a good player. Sonny Bill could have been worse. Could have been better. I think he lasted did he last almost an hour? Was it 55 minutes or was it 60? He lasted longer than some other guys, that's for sure. Not the biggest crowd, says Colin, and Fernando says so many errors. I agree, and I agree. Liliafano is lining up a shot at goal. And he's got it. Wallabies extend their lead. Start of the second half, and it's 10-point lead. They got Checker on the radio. Keep playing how we are, he says. Sorry, I'm just listening to what Chick is saying. Basically, that they need to build a game, build the score, and things are going to click into place, but it's not all going to happen at once. Cool. Jack says nobody cares about rugby over here. It's all AFL, a huge gap, league than the rest. Yeah, I kind of feel that. I was in Melbourne last year or the year before, and all the newspapers was just AFL. And I was in Sydney as well before that for a few days, and it was mostly rugby league. There was a little bit more rugby union reported on in New South Wales than in Melbourne, in Victoria, that's for sure. I don't like checker. That seems to be a pretty common theme. Oh man, the Pumas have knocked on again. Yeah. In South Africa, we only care about union. Yeah, I mean, in New Zealand, I actually did a video on like the support of the Super Rugby teams, and New Zealand's one professional rugby league team has more followers than any of the 5 Super Rugby teams. But obviously, if you put the 5 Super Rugby teams together, then they would be way more than the one league team. So there's definitely a league following here, but Union's still the bigger game. Right, Taffy says it's pretty much the same in Wales. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Seems to differ from place to place. Ribsy says Sydney North Shore, they play rugby. Yeah, actually, when I was in Sydney, I stayed on the North Shore with my brother's wife's parents who were like working out that way. And it seemed pretty fancy. They took me to like some market, and it was all very eat cheese and very fancy. So I could get that feeling if it's kind of a private school game. That makes sense. Whoa, someone's pants have just come down. At least he was wearing underwear. Rugby league is like non-alcoholic beer. Yeah, it's funny that I used to like league more when I was like 10. There are certainly photos of me wearing league gear because I liked the big hits, and I thought rugby union had too much kicking in it. But I think as I got older, I kind of realized, well, I mean, maybe I just don't understand league well enough, but rugby union, you could definitely do a lot more. Like, you can have a team which is built around a guy who just kicks big penalties, or you can have a team which is just a massive scrumming machine, or you can have a lightweight team which likes to run around the pack like the Japanese tried against the South Africans at the last World Cup. You can have so many different styles and different tactics. Whereas league, I don't know, to my untrained eye, it seems very samey. But again, I don't know much about league. So, yeah, I liked it as a 10-year-old. It had better marketing because when I was 10, rugby union was still amateur. So, yeah, league was the way to go. Sevens or 15s, asked Cardinia. I do not watch enough sevens, to be honest. I watch very little of it. That's one thing I would love to do more of. like if I could either do less of my current job or if I could switch my current job for like just some easy job. Not that my job is that hard, but it's a lot of hours and a lot of meetings and a lot of stuff on my mind. So I'd love to watch more sevens because the skills in sevens, man, are just amazing sometimes. That extra space, the limited minutes, like how hard those guys can go. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but still 15s. I like my big props and stuff. So, hey, what are you going to do? You look at the 99 2000 Wallabies team, rugby used to get 100,000 people. And now, yeah, it's gone pretty downhill in Australia. That is for sure. I think Super Rugby's stuff-ups haven't helped rugby in Australia, that's for sure as well. You need a mini fridge. I know, bro. I know. I should get one. I should get a mini fridge. That being said, it's not that hot over here at the moment. It's pretty cold, so the beer is staying at a nice temperature. Paul Davis, my God, this is a poor game. I'm not really talking about the game that much, which probably indicates that if you're not watching the game, if you're just watching me talk about the game, you're not missing a whole lot at the moment. 13-3, 49 minutes, a couple of real opportunities, and a whole lot of knock-ons. Although the Wallabies have just put in a really big scrum and won themselves another penalty, and it looks like Hooper has just pointed to the sticks. The Wallabies have got Tupou and Slipper on at the moment, so even with those changes, they're still able to put some pressure on the Pumas front row. This is what I'm talking about. If the Pumas are going to do something in World Cup, if you're conceding scrum penalties, it's pretty hard, so we'll see. Thoughts on Kurtley Beale? Kurtley Beale is kind of that enigma player, man. Like, he brings a lot to the game. He's quick, he's creative, but he's also not the best defender, and he is pretty poor in the air from what I've seen. So I don't know where you play him. I prefer him at 12, but then if you pay him at 12, you can't play Karevi at 12, and I'd rather have Karevi at 12. So I don't know. He definitely added some spark to the Wallabies last week when he came on. So Wallabies have just kicked another penalty after that scrum penalty. So Liliafano is having a good night with the boot. 16-3 after 51 minutes. The Pumas are a bit of a letdown so far, which is disappointing because they kept the All Blacks scoreless in 40 minutes last week. So maybe the travel is adding up. Maybe the changes. I don't know. Liliafano's gone off. Tamua's on. Do you ever not wear a hat? I do sometimes not wear a hat. It is true. Generally, when I'm on camera, I put a hat on. I do have hair. I'm not bald. Not yet. He's smooth bald from 10 to 2. Nah. I can't really grow a beard, but hair on my head, yeah, that's still all good. even at my age. Do you think Foley needs to go? The number 10 question at the Wallabies is still a bit of a question, isn't it? Ooh. Is Doug Howlett underrated? Not by me. I'm a Blues fan, so I love that guy. Although some people have issues with like his personality. Apparently, off the field, he could be a bit of a less than pleasant chap. So I don't know. I never met him. Man, De La Fuente just put in a hell of a kick. Wallabies are going to have a defensive lineout like 7 meters out from their own line. So if the Pumas are going to steal a lineout ball, now is the time to do it. How old am I? I'm like 35 now, man. 35, getting old. So Rory Arnold's got a bit of cramp. It's not good. Why stream this game but not the New Zealand game? I guess there's a couple of reasons. When I watch the game, whilst the game has not got that much going on, so I'm happy to look at the stream. But if it was a really good game, then I would perhaps just be sitting here with my jaw open and not really saying anything, which wouldn't be a good look. But also, my kids only usually go to bed like 7 something New Zealand time, and the game started at 7:30. Like, I got my daughter to bed, I think 10 minutes before kickoff. So I was a little worried if I said I was going to do a stream, and then I couldn't get my kids to sleep on time, then that wouldn't be good either. So the Australian games tend to work best with my kids' sleep schedule. Big Will says Dougie was a dick at school, but he was a good player, super quick. So you knew him at school, huh? I have heard things about him off the field being not a nice fellow. And Taffy Ducks' 20-point Wallabies prediction is definitely on the cards. Definitely on. But the Wallabies have still got to exit because they're like 6 meters out from their own line at the moment. Bro, this is awesome. I'm sitting here in Briz watching this crap game with the Two Cents Posse. Yeah, it is not the best game so far. We've still got 25 minutes for the game to get good. Hasn't happened yet. But if you're a Wallabies fan, I mean, geez, at least it looks like it's going to be a win unless the Argentinians can do something. They almost knocked it on, but managed not to. So we will see. Argentinians really need to score. There are 3 phases. They're still in the Wallabies half. Maybe this is their moment. Yep, he was Doug Howlett. He wasn't the nicest bloke, but he was good at sport. Yep, sometimes you can't have everything, I guess. Argentina knocked it on. Man, Ledesma is going to be pretty angry at this. This is bad. What's wrong with you? Why don't you watch the game with your kids? My kids are 3.5 and 1. Do you want to watch a game with those guys? 3.5 and 1. All I will hear is, Dad, where's my car? Dad, I don't want to watch the rugby. I want to watch. Oh, yeah. I love my kids, just in case I make it sound like I'm all cynical. I do love my kids, but when I'm watching rugby, I want the kids in bed. Separate. I wouldn't watch a game with a 17-year-old. Ribsy says, yeah. Yeah. I love my kids, and then he takes a drink. Yeah, well, what can I say? If you're a parent, you understand. D-Mac is sorely missed. Yeah. I'm still not quite sure about that Richie Mo'unga and Bowden Barrett combo because there were so many errors in that game. It was kind of hard to get a read on how it went. I thought of both the guys, Bowden certainly got a bit more attention in that game, but hey, he did have more space to work from the back, and the Springboks were putting a lot of pressure on Richie with that line speed. Okay, Pumas just got a turnover. Wallabies on their own 22, so maybe the Pumas can get a try here. Nope, they put a kick through, but it goes out. Do you watch Major League Rugby? I've only seen really small snippets of it, to be honest. I haven't seen much at all. It's another thing that I would like to watch if I had more time. But there's so much I need to watch, so yeah. But I would like to watch some. I hope it grows. It's good to see. It's a good start. This game is that boring. I'm discussing curtain choices with the missus. Oh man, Big Will, is it that bad? Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Is DMAC out for the year? Yep, DMAC's done. Out for the year. So, not coming back for anything. His run is done, which sucks for him, but oh well. It happens, I guess. My nephews are the same. They only support the team because they play in white, bloody kids. It's funny, when I've got my 3.5-year-old watching the rugby with me, I'll sometimes ask him which team he wants to win. Like if it was the Blues against the Crusaders, for example, the red one or the blue one. And he'd be like, no, I like the yellow one because the ref wears like a really bright yellow uniform. It's like, come on, man. Don't root for the ref. As an Irishman, seeing the Springboks slowly kicking back to top four makes me apprehensive about the probable quarterfinal. You never know. It might be against the ABs. It might be. But that being said, Ireland seem to have a pretty good formula against the ABs, so that may be preferable. I don't know. As an All Blacks fan, I don't want to play Ireland, that's for sure. But if you're going to win the World Cup, you got to be able to beat everybody. So that's just the way it is. Hey, Michael, you went to the game, eh? This is Kia from Wellington. How many beers are you on? By the way, I'm grabbing a beer. This is my first beer. It's a 660ml beer, so I think that'll probably do me before I go to bed after this game. I probably should have prepared more beer, given that this game has not been the highest quality. We're at 59 minutes. The score is 16-3. I'm pretty sure there's been more than 19 knock-ons, so we're probably at more knock-ons than points at the moment, but still, 20 minutes to go, something could happen. Michael went to the game. Most excited he's ever been for a draw. Yeah, man. Especially the fact that it wasn't like the 79th minute that was a draw. It's pretty crazy stuff. Well, 80th minute with the kick. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a great result. The Boks looked dead and buried for a while, but nah, they didn't give up. Do you go watch rugby at the stadium sometimes? Yeah. I was a season ticket holder for the Blues this year, so I went to all their home games, even the one on the North Shore. And I have tickets for the upcoming game against the Wallabies at Eden Park, but that one's not part of the Rugby Championship. It's just part of the Bledisloe, because the Rugby Championship's only 3 rounds this year because of the World Cup. And I'm going to go to see the All Blacks against Tonga in Hamilton, because Hamilton's just like a relatively short drive from Auckland. So, yeah, I'm going to go to 2 All Blacks games this year. James O'Connor is about to come on, looks like, for the Wallabies. Here comes O'Connor. Yep. See how he goes. Tonga have any chance against the All Blacks? Well, Tonga lost to Samoa today, so I don't know if the All Blacks are going to pick a really experimental team against the Tongans, or if they're going to pick like one of their best teams to get them some game time. I'm really not sure. So that'll be an interesting one. If they pick fringe players, I guess you never know. Bonisia is on. Yeah, perhaps that's a good thing. Maybe he can make a difference. Argentina need to score, man. They've got a line out on the Aussie 22. 61 minutes go on. They need to win this line out ball, do something with it, not knock it on. They've won the line out. That's a good start. They're mauling. That's also good. The ball pops out. They haven't knocked it on yet. It's 2 phases. No knock-ons. 3 phases. They are inching their way closer to the Wallabies try line. Wow, Petty's gone into a gap. He's 5 meters out. That ball's being slowed down, something awful. There's 6 phases, no knock-ons, but then they have knocked it on. Yep. Will you be uploading your All Black wrestling review tonight? Nah, man. I record in my bedroom, and my daughter's cot is in the bedroom, so I need to wait until tomorrow once she's awake, because I ain't waking her up for nobody. She is asleep. So, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'd love to do it today. I'm sure I'd get more views if I did it after the game, but I think during the World Cup, I'm going to need to set up one area of the house where I can just do videos any time of day, because most of the games are on pretty late at night. So, but for now, I have to wait for my sleeping baby to get up. It'd be hilarious if this game ended up 16 all as well. The Pumas will need to get their hands going a bit better than they are, if that's going to happen, for sure. The TMO looks like he's reviewing a Is that Tamua's tackle without the ball? Or is it what happened after that? No foul play, they're going to move on by the look of things. I do not want to wake the beast, that's for sure. Once she wakes up, she's really hard to get back to sleep. Yeah, man. Thank you. I do try to put out a fair few vids every week. I try to get one done a day, which is not too bad. I usually do it before my daughter goes to bed, so that's all good. But yeah, the World Cup is going to be interesting how I do my vids because, yeah, most of the games are at night, so I'll need to sort up something. Maybe not my bedroom. I think I'm going to go watch a movie, says Edu. I kind of don't blame you, man. This one is not the best game. This is not the best ad for the Rugby Championship. It looks like Orlando's coming on. 15 minutes to go, 16 minutes. Who's your favorite non-New Zealand player? Wow. That's a pretty good question. Do I have to only pick one? Lots. Maybe Liam Williams? I don't know. He's pretty cool. He's kind of got like everything against him, but he's just so good. Are you going to be streaming the World Cup games? I think so, man. Yeah, I think so. I don't know about all of them, but at least some of them for sure. I just need to set up where I'm going to do it in the house because, like, right now I'm in the kitchen because the lounge is kind of next to my bedroom and I guess I'd be too noisy. So I just need to work out the logistics. I just don't want to wake kids up is the main thing. That is like one of the most important things in my life is do not wake the sleeping children. So, yeah. Yeah, if I could set up some kind of studio in the backyard, that would be good, but I think that's unlikely. Wow. There's been a knock on this time by the Wallabies. Put a tent in the backyard. I could do that. Just gotta think about cables. I have to buy a tent. Cables, lighting, lots of factors. If this game keeps going the way it's going, the Wallabies are going to get a much needed win. Not going to get a bonus point though. I'd laugh my ass off at tent live streams. Yeah, that would be unique, I guess, to see someone streaming from a tent and it's not like a camping channel. Put the kids in the tent. That's genius. Put the kids in the tent, then I got full use of the house to do whatever I want. Now that's some good thinking. I'm not sure if it's legal because they're only 1 and 3.5, but Yeah, maybe. I should get a bonus point for sticking with this game. Yeah, Paul. Yeah. This is a true test of your kind of rugby loyalty to watch games like this, but sometimes you get games like this. I'm never quite sure if it's just the fact that, because we see it a bit in Super Rugby, sometimes the games played in Brisbane have more handling areas because it's like a bit greasy up there. I guess because it's warmer. I don't know. Man, Michael Hooper just monstered whoever the Argentinian guy was that pulled the ball out of that scrum. And he's turned them over. Maybe the Wallabies are going to launch a scathing attack, but no, they've knocked it on after 2 phases. Does your wife have any interest in rugby? Not really. She likes Bowden Barrett. She likes Damian McKenzie. Basically, the ones who get that bit of extra camera time as they look up at the posts longingly. Yeah. She likes the glory guys, I guess. I think she's kind of got a bit of a soft spot for Dane Coles. But, yeah, for the most part, she's not that keen on rugby. She does kind of look at the jerseys I wear and give me a yay or a nay as to her opinion, but I think she came with me to one of the Blues games this year, so I mean that's cool. I'm going to take her to the All Blacks against Tonga because she's never been to an All Blacks game before, so I think the atmosphere at that game should be amazing. So hopefully that'll get her into it as well. Does she like Sonny Bill? Not so much, but she does know who he is. She came in as I was watching the All Blacks game tonight and was like, "Oh, Sonny Bill's there." Like she hasn't seen that for a while, so yeah. A Hurricanes fan, I see. Yeah, kind of, I guess. She probably is a bit of a Hurricanes fan. Makes more sense than being a Blues fan, that's for sure. Need to get you a Scotland shirt. She will love that. I've got a Scotland shirt. I don't know if she's seen me wearing it or not. Maybe I should wear it more. I need to get a Glasgow and Edinburgh shirt at some point as well. Thoughts on the Boks? Man, the Boks are looking good. It's funny because I did that video a while back on like the most recent results to win the World Cup. That video would have gone quite differently, I guess, if the most recent result between the Springboks and the All Blacks was a draw. If that was a draw at home to the All Blacks, then I think I'd kind of have to give that result to the Springboks, right? Because like it's better to be the away team to get a draw. In which case, the Springboks go through top of that pool, and then the All Blacks face Ireland. Their most recent result against Ireland is a loss, so then someone else wins the World Cup. Probably Wales. But yeah, I made the video too early. Iconic jersey. I do have a Iconic jersey, but only the European one, the Challenge Cup one from last year, so it's kind of gray. I don't have like the proper green standout jersey. I will get one eventually, but I'm very like I don't have any of the Welsh teams except Ospreys. I don't have any of the Italian teams. I don't have any of the Scottish teams, so I do need to start expanding. I don't have a Munster jersey. I think someone did send me one, but it got lost in the post, so I got like 2 Leinster jerseys, but no Munster. That's from Mark, the Leinster fan. So Wallabies just won another scrum penalty. I don't think Argentina can do this. To be honest, you should be wearing a Springboks jersey. Maybe I should go out. Maybe tomorrow I should wear the Springbok jersey just for the whole day. Maybe if they'd won the game. For a draw, I'm not sure. Maybe I should wear a Wallabies jersey. The Reds pissed me off years ago. Yeah, man, they really did. But to be fair, I should be more kindred spirit with the Reds guys because we're both colors, the Reds and the Blues. We're both teams that used to be pretty good but are now pretty rubbish. So there is a lot in common between Reds and Blues fans. That's for sure. Because Andrew Reedy really pissed me off. I don't get pissed off that easily, but he really bothered me. We've got Scarlets fans and someone else. I think it was a Taffy said you're a Dragons fan. Are Dragons going to be any better next year? Well, this year. You need a proper jerseys display. I know. I need to work on that. But like I said, it's just my bedroom. So it'd be nice at some point to have a proper location to do that kind of thing. But at the moment, it's just hooks on the wall, coat hangers, and a background. So why are the Pumas playing so bad, says Fernando? I don't know, man. They've forgotten how to catch the ball. I'm not sure what's happening today. It's disappointing because the Pumas have been very good. The Warriors have been good, and the Pumas last week, so not happening today. Do other New Zealand fans give you some comments if you wear a Springboks jersey in public? Not too bad, actually. Springboks one's not too bad. More if I wear England or if I wear Australia. Springboks, not too bad. Not too bad. And to be fair, Auckland has a big population who do not care about rugby as well. So, yeah. A lot of people wouldn't even know it's a rugby jersey, to be fair, which is surprising given it's New Zealand, but it is true. Dragons have some good youngsters, but no depth, so not going to be better. Okay. Brutally honest. I'll pitch you from Argentina. I think the Pumas don't feel they need to perform versus Australia like they do against South Africa or New Zealand. That could be true. It could be true. I think quite a few people picked the Pumas to win this one. So it's disappointing that they haven't been able to do more. So the hate for Australia and England is mutual. Yeah, apparently. Universal hate for England and rugby seems to be a thing. And there's a funny thing with at least rugby with New Zealand because we tend to really hate the Wallabies. I don't. But a lot of Kiwi fans really want the Wallabies to fail. Like I went to the Ireland against Wallabies game. Oh, there's a try. Issa just got a try. 73 minutes it took, but there's a try. Wow. Wow. Okay. Line out move. The Pumas go to a maul. Wallabies just couldn't quite get it stopped. They did bring it down, and then Issa just went straight over the line. Cool. Okay. I guess this game needed that. Bonija should kick this. Game on. $16-10. Just remember, I picked Wallabies by 7, so I'm not doing too bad. But the Pumas could actually win this. They have not been looking in this game at all. But that one score has done it. What was I saying? New Zealand fans generally hate the Aussies. But when I was in Australia, I noticed the feeling doesn't seem to be mutual. Like, they don't seem to hate us. So I feel a bit bad about that. And when I lived overseas, I was good friends with a big Waratahs fan. And he, I guess, kind of convinced me not to hate the Aussies. So I generally will support the Aussies and the South Africans when they're playing other teams as well, because the Argentinians now as well, because I guess there's kind of like a Southern Hemisphere brotherhood. But then I've got support for some of the European teams as well. So yeah, it's all the rich tapestry. Aussies love the All Blacks. Yeah, this is what I mean. But we hate the Wallabies generally as a country. I don't get it. It's not fair. But oh well. I don't mind the Kiwis and my wife is British, but I hate the Australians. Everybody seems to hate the Australians. I don't like the Australian cricket team, but the rugby team, at least in recent years, does not bother me. I didn't used to like Gregan and whatnot, but I guess we were losing a lot to them more. Maybe I've kind of softened because they don't beat us as much as they used to. I think it's due to the Aussies commentators. The Fox Sports commentators can be pretty cringy. That is true. That is true. But then some of the New Zealand guys are not that much better. Hate the English and French rugby. Not the nations, though. Okay, fair enough. Because Australian selectors keep picking the most unlikable dickheads to be our national representatives. Back in the 90s when you had Eels, etc., it was okay, but it went downhill. Yeah, John Eels, you can't really hate that guy. I mean, he's a pretty cool guy. So I was too busy reading the comments. I missed what happened, but I'm assuming that was a scrum penalty. Either way, it's 76 minutes and Tamua is lining up a penalty, which will put it beyond 7. So this could be game. He's missed it. Oh, my Lord. I don't want to say that was a sitter, but that was pretty bad. Well, I hope nobody else scores because I was just throwing my whiteboard on the floor. I have to write a note about that. 76 minutes. Tamua missed penalty. Pretty easy. Damn. All right, 3 minutes to go. They could still lose it. It was a sitter, says Stephen. Yeah, man, that was... He should have been kicking that. Pumas have turned it over and kicked it through. Wallabies are going to have to close this game out. Karevi's going down the wing. But he's not going to be... We're going to have to catch that. Three minutes to go. At least, as poor as this game has been, I was going to say we're going to have a good ending, but there's been a knock on. There's going to be a slight bit of tension at the end because it's within 7 points. So, yeah. How did he miss that? I don't know. He could have thrown it. I know. How did he miss that? I don't know. This is really a trash game. It's not one for the ages. I'm not sure what they're going to show on the highlights package. Enjoy your sleep ahead of you. Yeah, it's 11:30 at night here, so I am going to enjoy my sleep. I'll get up in the morning and do a couple of videos to review these games. A bit of fun. So pick a dream team. I'm not sure how many Wallabies and Pumas I'm going to be able to fit in the dream team. We'll see. Maybe the stats will do them credit where the game has perhaps not. I don't know. If your kids are struggling to sleep, says Paul, show them this game. Yeah. My daughter's got this thing of waking up at like anywhere between 3 and 5 in the morning now. So maybe I should put this game on and she'll knock out like a light. This weekend there's been a lot of knock on. That is true. I mean, despite the fact that the other game ended with kind of a classic finish, that game was also messy at times. I think I hear a crying child. Can you hear the crying child? I need to show the child this game. Crying baby, that's the big one. It's the 3.5-year-old. Just cry back twice as loud, don't back down. Yeah. I'll give that a try. This game is about to be over if they can set the damn scrum. Good timing. It's the 80-minute mark. Yeah, you'd rather have a crying child at the end of the game rather than at the start. That is true. I also want to cry about this game. Yeah. If I was going to cry back at the crying child, this would be a good reason to do it. Oh, man. Matera is going to run the length and score under the posts. Let's see it. Pumas get a tight head. Go length of the field. Or the Aussies win the scrum and just kick it out. Maybe win a scrum penalty. Boom. It's over. 16 points to 10. The Wallabies get the result. Guinea is clapping. Well, it was a game of rugby. It wasn't a classic. It wasn't a draw. So, yeah. The Aussies aren't likely to get the wooden spoon now. But I'm kind of glad I had you guys here with me for this game, because if I was staying up to 11:35 to watch this game on my own, that would have been harder. So, yeah, thank you guys for for sticking this one out with me. That was a game of rugby. So, yeah. I'll do the reviews tomorrow morning for the All Blacks and Springboks, and this game's video may be a couple of minutes shorter, I guess, but yeah, we'll see how things go. If you guys are in nighttime, have a good night. If you're in morning, have a good day. Michael Hooper looks pretty chuffed with himself. I'll listen to his interview and I'll go to bed. So, yeah, good night from me, guys. And I will talk to you guys again next time. All right. Reviews in the morning. All right, man. See you guys later.